I woke up because I heard a zipper. Not loud, just slow, careful, like someone trying not to wake me up. I stayed completely still inside my sleeping bag, staring at the dark fabric of my tent ceiling. My phone said 2:17 a.m. The zipper sound stopped. Then, nothing. I told myself it was the wind, or maybe I'd half dreamed it. I almost rolled over. Then I heard it again. Not mine. Somewhere just outside. I was camping alone about 2 hours outside the city. Nothing extreme, just a quiet forest area I'd been to before. I'd set up near a small clearing, maybe 20 feet from the tree line. No other campers, no cars. I made sure. I always do. That's why the second zipper didn't make sense. I slowly reached for my phone and turned the screen brightness all the way down. My heart was already going faster than it should have been. I listened. Nothing. Then I heard something soft. Fabric shifting. Like someone adjusting themselves inside a tent. I froze. Because I hadn't seen any other tents when I set up. I tried to think logically. Maybe someone arrived late. Maybe they set up in the dark and I didn't notice. That happens. But then I remembered something. The ground around me was covered in dry leaves. You can't walk through it quietly. I would have heard them. I didn't unzip my tent. I just lay there, staring at the thin nylon wall, waiting. Then I saw it. A shadow. It moved across my tent. Slow, like someone walking between my tent and the moonlight. But the shape was wrong. Too close. Like they were right up against the fabric. I stopped breathing. The shadow stopped too, like it knew. I counted in my head. 1, 2, 3. Nothing. Then I heard it, a whisper, not words, just breath. Right outside my head, I snapped. I grabbed my flashlight and flicked it on, pointing straight at the tent wall. Hello? My voice sounded wrong, too loud. The shadow disappeared instantly. Silence again. I stayed like that for a full minute before I built up the nerve to unzip my tent. Fast. I stepped out, scanning everything. The clearing was empty. No one, no second tent. Nothing. I walked in a full circle around my campsite. No footprints, no gear, no signs anyone had been there. But then I noticed something. Behind my tent, the leaves were flattened, in a straight line, like something had been lying there. For a while, I didn't sleep again. I packed everything at sunrise. As I was leaving, I turned back one last time. And that's when I saw it, further into the trees, maybe 30 yards out, a patch of disturbed leaves, same shape, same size, like a second tent had been there and had been moved closer. I put the fire out 3 times. It kept coming back. I remember checking it carefully the first time. Dirt over the coals, water poured slowly until it stopped hissing. I even stirred it with a stick to make sure nothing was still burning. Dead. Completely dead. I went to sleep. I woke up sweating. It was too hot. At first I thought it was just the sleeping bag. Then I smelled it. Smoke. Fresh. I sat up and looked through the mesh of my tent. The fire pit was glowing. Not just embers. Flames. Small but steady. I got out immediately. Did I mess that up? I muttered to myself. I walked over and crouched down. It was burning clean, like someone had just lit it. There was even a small crackling sound. I didn't understand. I put it out again. This time I used almost all my water. Made sure it was soaked. Cold. Gone. Back in the tent, I couldn't shake the feeling something was off. I kept replaying it. I know how to put out a fire. I've done it dozens of times. There's no way it just reignites like that. I checked the time. 3:08 a.m. I told myself I'd stay awake for a bit, just to be sure. I must have dozed off, because the next thing I remember was opening my eyes and seeing flickering light again. I didn't move right away. I just stared. The light was different this time, stronger. And it wasn't just in the fire pit, it was moving. I slowly turned my head. The light shifted across the trees, like someone was walking with the fire. I sat up. My heart was pounding now. There was no sound, no footsteps, just the light, passing behind trees, pausing, then moving again. I didn't get out this time. I just watched. The light came closer, then stopped, right outside my tent. I could see the glow through the fabric, bright, unnatural, too steady. Then something blocked it, a shape, standing there, between me and the firelight. I held my breath, waiting for it to move. It didn't. Then slowly the light dimmed, like it was being lowered, or covered, until everything went dark again. I didn't move until morning, not even once. When the sun came up, I stepped out. The fire pit was cold, no ash disturbance, no signs it had been relit. But about 10 feet from my tent, there was a circle, burned into the ground, perfectly round, like a fire had been there instead, and the original fire pit untouched. The car had been there since before sunset. Same spot, same angle. Engine off. No one inside. I noticed it when I pulled into the camping area around 6 p.m. It was parked near the entrance of the dirt road, about 100 meters from where I set up. I remember thinking it was odd, but not alarming. People leave cars and go hiking. Normal. By the time I finished setting up my tent, it was getting dark. The car hadn't moved. Still no one. I made dinner, sat by my small fire, and kept glancing back toward it. Something about the way it was parked bothered me, slightly crooked, like it had stopped suddenly. Around 9 p.m., I grabbed my flashlight and walked over. I don't know why. Curiosity, I guess. The doors were unlocked. That was the first thing. I didn't open them. I just looked through the window. Empty, no bags, no phone mount, no trash, nothing. The keys were still in the ignition. That's when I felt it, that quiet shift in your gut. Like something doesn't add up. I went back to my campsite, tried to forget about it, but I couldn't. Around midnight, I heard something. Not from the woods, from the direction of the car, a click, like a door locking. I sat up immediately. My fire had died down, so everything was darker now. I grabbed my flashlight and pointed it toward the road. The car was still there, but now the interior light was on. I stood up slowly. Every instinct was telling me not to go back there, so I didn't. Instead, I stayed near my tent, watching, waiting. The light stayed on for a few minutes, then turned off. That should have been it. But then I heard it. Footsteps, not on leaves, on dirt. Slow, measured, coming from the road. I turned off my flashlight. Instinct. I didn't want to be seen. The footsteps stopped. I couldn't see anything. But I knew whoever it was facing my direction. I tried to convince myself it was the car's owner coming back. That made sense. It had to be. Then why weren't they calling out? Why no light? Why no sound now? Minutes passed. Nothing moved. Eventually, I forced myself to turn the flashlight back on and sweep the area. Empty. I didn't sleep. At first light, I packed everything fast. As I drove out, I slowed down near the car. It was exactly the same. Doors closed. No one inside. But the keys? Gone. I didn't stop. I just kept driving. About 10 minutes down the road, I checked my rearview mirror, and for a second, I thought I saw headlights behind me, far back, keeping distance, but when I slowed down to let it catch up, there was nothing there.